Every day, around the world, energy powers progress. Looking back can help us look forward. On the far northeast coast of Malaysia, master top makers spend their life honing their skills to craft a gasing that spins for hours. The wise know that practice, timing, and teamwork will deliver success, measured here in precision, balance, and endurance. As it is in business, when technology and agility are driven by strategic vision, potential becomes reality. Sapura Energy's full spectrum of capabilities covers the entire value chain of oil and gas production, from exploration to development, production, rejuvenation, decommissioning, and abandonment. Each one of our divisions is a major player in their sector. Independently or working together, we deliver solutions from beginning to end. Today, we are a Malaysian company offering solutions and services to the oil and gas industry across the globe. Complementing our fabrication yard capability, our accomplished project teams have access to our fleet of state-of-the-art vessels. The flagships of our fleet, the Sapura 1200 and Sapura 3500, provide the best in offshore construction. These vessels have the versatility to operate in shallow and deep water and the ability to dynamically position, perform precise heavy lift and pipelay work. Sapura Energy's pipelay support vessels feature innovative control room and lay tower design. These vessels are now laying pipe in ultra-deep water 250 kilometers off the coast of Brazil at an incredible uptime rate of up to 99%. Sapura Energy's subsea capabilities run deep, from support vessels to diving and cutting-edge ROVs. Designed and built by Sapura Energy's subsidiary, TMT in Perth, the Typhoon drops to the ocean bed. Nearly 2.5 kilometers down in the gloom, it locates the wellhead and goes to work under water pressures that would crush almost any other machine. Sapura Energy's drilling division owns and operates the world's largest fleet of tender rigs, with over 50% of the global market share. Our fleet of modern rigs extract oil and gas safely and efficiently in water depths up to 6,000 feet offshore and reservoirs up to 30,000 feet deep. Sapura E&P is a dynamic Asian-based independent, active in exploration, development, and production. We have recently made significant gas discoveries offshore Malaysia, adding 9 trillion cubic feet to our existing reserves and resource portfolio. Our success has come from the core knowledge and expertise of our E&P team that continue to recognize good exploration acreage, execute exploration plans, and fundamentally develop and operate oil and gas fields in the most cost-effective manner. In every facet of the business, we aim for precision, balance, and endurance in a global marketplace. The best tools are only as good as the hands and minds that use them. So naturally, our most important investment is in people. Loyalty and longevity are the core values. We've positioned ourselves uniquely to integrate our services to clients by offering innovative technologies with multiple efficiencies and bespoke solutions to individual needs. Sapura Energy is built by entrepreneurs, engineers, and a diverse workforce, driven to deliver what we all take for granted: energy to live well and progress. Our journey continues to optimize energy for the world at large.
A company that is well respected in the business, adds value to its shareholders and stakeholders, and is the responsible company that believes in sustainability.
For Hibiscus, ESG considerations are always on our mind. But to be effective, we practice it from our heart.
My name is Noaina Basira binti Zahari, metric number 2021853566, and I will present the next part, which is SWOT for Sapura Energy Company. So here I will show you about the current issue that faced by Sapura Energy Company.
The plan to restructure Sapura Energy Berhad to put it back on the right footing was, on paper, well thought out. Unfortunately, it was poorly executed. The oil and gas services provider had been badly hit by the tumble in crude oil prices. A plan to reduce its debts and to raise working capital so it could continue to secure new contracts was then put on the table. However, the plan was never fully implemented. A major stakeholder would not or could not come up with the full sum it was expected to, while a new line of credit came with so many conditions attached that it was near impossible to utilize it. At a meeting with major shareholder Petroleum National Berhad in early 2018, SEB proposed that key stakeholders inject 6 billion ringgit into the company to help it pare down its debts substantially, leaving some funds for working capital. PNB, however, proposed a ceiling of 4 billion ringgit in new injection. Following the May 9, 2018 general elections that saw Pakatan Harapan replace Barisan Nasional in Putrajaya, there was a change in leadership at PNB. Former Bank Negara Governor Zeti Akhtar Aziz replaced Abdul Wahid Omar as chairman at PNB. Nonetheless, the rescue plan was given the nod. But in the end, PNB injected only 2.7 billion ringgit. Sapura Group and SEB President and Group Chief Executive Officer Sharil Samsudin added another 532 million ringgit, and the SEB leadership team topped that up with an additional 16 million ringgit. Almost the entire sum was used to repay outstanding loans, in which PNB-owned Maybank was the largest beneficiary, leaving almost nothing for working capital. SEB also ended up paying the bank 75 million ringgit as underwriting fee for the rights issues. SEB then turned to the banks for a 2 billion ringgit loan as working capital, but eventually received only 1.2 billion ringgit. Even so, there were strict conditions attached to its drawdown. The facility could not be utilized in a timely manner and was suspended in October 2021. The COVID-19 pandemic only made things worse for SEB. It reported an 8.9 billion ringgit loss in the financial year ended January 31st, 2022, leading for calls for another rescue plan. Several setbacks also compounded to SEB's woes, among them the Yunlin Wind Farm project in Taiwan and the Oil and Natural Gas Corporation Deepwater Development Project in India. With the company deep in trouble, former Prime Minister Najib Razak is leading the call for a bailout, a move which former Pandan MP Rafizi Ramli vehemently opposes. Critics have pointed to Malaysia's poor record of failed rescue plans for GLCs that include Malaysia Airlines, Perwaja Steel, the Renong Group, and Felda. But in these cases, the focus was on cost reduction and the sale of assets, rather than growing the business holistically through a proper restructuring plan.
The video shows that oil and gas service providers have been hit hard by the fall in crude oil prices. plan to reduce its debts and increase working capital so it can continue to secure new contracts. However, the plan was never fully implemented. Key stakeholders will not or cannot come up with the full amount expected, while new lines of credit come with so many conditions attached that it is almost impossible to use them. The first is strange. Sapura Energy Company has signed an agreement with the government to foster the development of a skilled workforce in their company by expanding their company initiative. The initiative is to create technical and vocational training to train and shape their workers to be better and skilled in their field of work. This training has had a positive effect on their own company, the skill of their employees in their respective tasks have increased, and indirectly the quality of the Sapura Energy Company will also increase. Since the introduction of technical and vocational training initiative in 2019, the Sapura Company has successfully trained around 320 students at the Sapura Fabrication Training Center in Lumut, equipping them with the important industry knowledge and skill. In addition, the Sapura Energy Company has also employed more than 3,000 Malaysians as crew and craftsmen across its fabrication, vessel and drilling rig areas, both domestically and globally. When it has risen to the global level, of course, the name of the Sapura Energy Company has also become a topic of conversation in foreign countries. The next part is weakness. Lay off workers for not having the ability to pay workers' salary. Sapura Energy Company plans to cut about 800 or 20% of its 4,000 full-time employees in an effort to adapt to the double pressure of volatile oil price and the economic slowdown caused by the coronavirus. In 2019, the country has experienced high pressure and problems due to the outbreak of a dangerous disease, which is coronavirus, or better known as COVID-19. As a result, the country has decided to implement a movement control order that has caused the rate of movement of people in the country to be controlled and not allowed to move freely like in previous years. As a result of this, the Sapura Energy has experienced difficulty in paying the salary of their employees because their company has not been able to carry out their activities as in previous year. In April, Sapura Energy implemented pay cuts affecting a third of its workforce, including a 50% pay cut for the leadership team, although those earning below 10,000 per month were not affected at the time. The salary cuts succeeded in reducing its labor costs by 75%. In its latest announcement, Sapura Energy is also finalizing the detail of a joint separation scheme for unaffected employers as part of ongoing efforts to further optimize labor costs, including full-time employers. Sapura Energy currently employs 10,000 people. Of the 800 staff who will be affected by the downsizing, and 63% are contract workers, while the remaining 37% are permanent staff. Next is opportunity. Sapura Energy wants to further develop its potential in the US market. Sapura Energy is looking for opportunities to make better use of the rig because with this utilization rate, it will be able to improve the performance of their company. When the utilization rate of the rig can be used well, it indirectly opens up the opportunity for the Sapura Energy Company to highlight their company name, introduce the company's level of sustainability and their highly skilled employer. This opportunity will have a huge impact on the Sapura Energy Company itself. Sapura Energy Company recent contract win of Rm 1.4 billion will help deliver stronger Sapura Energy Company profit in the second half of its 2024 financial year. UOBKH research notes that the most of the new contracts are for the E&C segment, and of these, 58% are related to transport and installation for the Western Hemisphere. Apart from that, oil and gas service providers are also making progress in their setup plans. Sapura Energy will also seek to review certain ongoing E&C contracts, although this may prove challenging for some projects. Financially, it continues to see improved performance with net profit rising 58% to Rm 146.09 million for the first financial quarter and 30 April 2023. With this profit rate, the expected rate of opportunity for profit to be stronger in 2024 is more concentrated largely from the higher rig utilization. And the last is about threats. The threat that becomes the main distraction for the Sapura Energy Company is when there is a slower company growth compared to the previous year. This happens when there is a problem involving the world economy. Among the things that have caused economic growth to slow down is when there is an uncertain geopolitical impact as a result of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, which has triggered pace restriction and has disrupted long-term supply issues. Although there is a possibility that the Sapura Energy Company can overcome the problem involving the world economy, but the problem involving the world economy are still a threat to the Sapura Energy Company because this problem occur outside their area. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Nofarisha binti Sudin. My metric number 20216193888. For this presentation, I will explain the next SWOT analysis of Hibiscus at Petroleum Company. First, the strength that Hibiscus Petroleum have. According to the company's primary objective, to be a respected, valuable, and responsible energy company, the team must be devoted, operate with the utmost integrity, and the driven to be succeed. Hibiscus Petroleum prioritizes the integrity and skills of their workers, and having exceptional employees has been a strength for them. Hibiscus Petroleum recognizes the value of equality and diversity of values by determining compensation levels based on the skills and abilities of each individual, regardless of gender, ethnicity, cultural background, or other factors. The company states that when making performance-based compensation awards, they only consider merits. Employers will receive fair treatment, equal access to resources, and a chance to grow personally so they can contribute to and advance the business. Next, I will show a video that can conclude overall additional strength that Hibiscus Petroleum have.
Firstly, let's look at the research report from Public Investment Bank. The research house is quite positive on the acquisition. As we can see from this statement, they have increased the target price to 1 ringgit 5 cents per share from 76 cents per share previously. Some of the main points they have mentioned: post-acquisition, they expect the group's production rate to more than double for their oil production, from 9,000 barrels a day to 18,500 barrels a day. Also, the gas production is expected to increase from 17,400 barrels a day to 26,800 barrels a day. So they seem to be quite positive on the acquisition. Now, let's look at the other research report from M Investment. Well, they have also increased their TP to 98 cents per share from 85 cents per share previously. Let us look at some of the points they have guided. As we can see, they have mentioned that the EBITDA will increase by a staggering 121% in FY23 moving forward because of this new acquisition. What about some of the other points? They have also mentioned the doubling of the group's oil production post-acquisition, and this is similar to Public Bank's report, to 18,500 barrels a day.
The next is the weakness of the company. Based on our research of Hibiscus Petroleum key strength, which is the effective management of its employees, we can say that the company has made significant investment or outlays to keep their workers. The distribution of its investment across different sectors may become unstable as a result of this situation. For instance, Hibiscus Petroleum has provided a number of initiatives for its staff, including competitive compensation plans and recognition and reward for performance, even promoting opportunity for professional and personal development calls for a sizable budget. Next is the opportunity. Hibiscus Petroleum believes that maintaining strong performance inside their organization can benefit the organization in several ways. The company remains committed to delivering top performance in a climate of high oil prices, and this commitment is strengthened by its excellent opportunity to build on its successful operational history in Malaysia and the UK. The company benefits greatly from strong corporate performance. For instance, according to this article, Hibiscus Petroleum was able to produce an average net production of 20,240 barrels of oil equivalent per day of oil condensate and gas, exceeding production witnessed in all preceding quarters. The completion of the deepest well construction project, which has boosted the oil production rate of Hibiscus Petroleum per day, further strengthened the company's performance. The 7-kilometer deep well began producing oil at a rate of 4,000 barrels per day. According to Dr. Kenneth Pereira, Hibiscus Petroleum has made considerable technical advancement and generate positive performance outcome. He added that Hibiscus Petroleum managed to increase operational performance despite declining oil prices, which helped to raise the level of profitability in oil-producing properties. The last is the threat to the company. A serious threat to Hibiscus Petroleum is decreased economic growth brought on by a number of competitive issues in the global economy. For instance, due to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, which resulted in phase blockade that prolonged supply problem, lack of investment from foreign firms, significant disruption to the global supply chain, and high risk premiums for commodities all contribute to a decrease in crude oil supply. Considering the most recent crisis that has shocked the global economy, particularly the oil and gas sector, which is the Cold War between Russia and Ukraine, given its size, Russia must have a significant influence on other nations. Consequently, I will discuss how this situation may impact global oil prices in the following videos.
You're watching the Arise News Hour. Time to take a look at the headlines from the business world. Germany has declared an early warning over possible gas supply disruption amid a payment standoff with Russia. Russia had demanded so-called unfriendly countries pay for its gas in rubles from the end of the month. But the EU, which mainly pays in euros, has rejected the idea. Moscow clarified the move to ruble payments would be gradual. But German Economy Minister Robert Habeck has urged consumers and companies to reduce consumption in anticipation of possible shortages. Germany gets about half its gas and a third of its oil from Russia and has warned that it could face a recession if supplies suddenly stop.
The early warning level is the first of 3 possible levels. It is a monitoring of the situation. A crisis unit is being set up within the ministry. It is important to emphasize that security of supply is guaranteed, that all contracts are being fulfilled and that gas and oil are arriving in Germany as planned. So it is a preventive or precautionary decision that I have taken today.
Based on the SWOT analysis, I will give overall rating 5-star, considering the better strength and their good companies' opportunities. That's all for the SWOT analysis of Hibiscus Petroleum. I will pass this presentation to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fatin Nur Amali binti Azizi. Matrix number 2021298766. I as the next presenter. Now, I would like to explain about ratio analysis. Ratio analysis is a quantitative method of gaining insight into a company's liquidity, operational efficiency, and profitability by studying its financial statement, such as the balance sheet and income statement. Ratio analysis is a cornerstone of fundamental equity analysis. As we can see here, this is the liquidity ratio for both company, Sapura Energy and Hibiscus Petroleum. So based on the graph, we can see for the current ratio, Hibiscus has a high ability to pay its off in terms of short-term liabilities rather than Sapura Energy. With the current year, with 0.9086 is higher than Sapura Energy, 0.1954. And for the quick ratio on the orange color on the graph, the quick ratio of Hibiscus is slightly higher than Sapura. Therefore, Sapura may pay difficulty in payment their debt obligation, while Hibiscus is catching up to pay their debt. And the next one is cash ratio. In this situation, both company has a little cash flow in their company running and need to sustain and have a great job to make sure cash, but always Hibiscus is slightly higher than Sapura, as you can see here. So for overall, for the liquidity ratio, Hibiscus Petroleum is far ahead than Sapura. Next is profitability ratio. Profitability ratio used to assess a business ability to generate earning relative to its revenue, operating costs, and balance sheet asset or shareholder equity over time using data from a specific point in time. So as you can see here, in gross profit margin, Hibiscus has a higher gross profit margin rather than Sapura Energy. Therefore, it shows that Hibiscus Petroleum is more efficient in making profit from its sale. In 2022, gross profit margin records for 2.33% compared to 2021 with 2.56%, but still lead in gross profit margin. Next is net profit margin. According to the table, Hibiscus has more stable percentage of net profit margin, but as we can see in 2022, Sapura Energy is lead at front, then with 3.50, while Hibiscus Petroleum is catching up with 1.25%. To conclude, Hibiscus through the 3 year has a great stable profit than Sapura Energy. And the next is return on asset. Even though it was both company under 1%, but Hibiscus Petroleum has a higher ratio on return on asset rather than Sapura Energy. Next is turnover ratio. In turnover ratio, we have fixed asset turnover. Fixed asset turnover ratio compares net sales to net fixed asset. It is used to evaluate the ability of management to generate sales from its investment in fixed asset. A high ratio indicates that a business is doing an effective job of generating sales with a relatively small amount of fixed asset. Here, as we can see in the graph, Sapura Energy has a slightly higher in generating income from their asset. With 2022, with 0.4120% rather than Hibiscus Petroleum with 0.3491%. Next is inventory turnover. It is a higher ratio tends to point a strong sales and a lower 1 to weak sales. Here, Hibiscus Petroleum shows an excellent sales with a higher inventory turnover, with the peak at year 2021 is at 16.27%. Last is total asset turnover, which overall from the ratio Hibiscus really use well their asset in order to generate sale and profit. For horizontal analysis is used in the review of a company financial statement over multiple periods. It is usually depicted as percentage growth over the same line item in the base year. Horizontal analysis allows financial statement user to easily spot trends and growth pattern. For return on asset or ROA, this graph shows that for both companies for all those 3 years, Sapura has a negative return on asset, which is we can see on orange bar, while Hibiscus in blue bar keep getting better and better through the 3 years. With the latest 2022 with 0.1184% rather than in 2021 with 0.03718. For return on equity ROE, Sapura Energy start low with negative 0.56 but increased drastically in 2022 with 10.02%, which is good for Sapura Energy for their return on equity, while Hibiscus is increasing slowly in 2020 with negative 0.04 and increase slowly in 2022 with 0.2965. Based on current ratio for all over these 3 years, Hibiscus Petroleum has lead a great current ratio, even though it has decreased a little in 2022, but it shows that the firm has enough resources to meet its short-term obligation. Next is fixed asset turnover. Fixed asset turnover reveals how efficient a company is at generating sales from its existing fixed asset. So in this situation, Sapura Energy in the orange bar has used well their assets in order to generate sales and profit from it. Next is vertical analysis. Vertical analysis is a method of analyzing financial statement that lists each line item as a percentage of a base figure within the statement. The first line of a statement always shows the base figure at 100%, which is following line item representing a percentage of the whole. This is make it easier to compare the financial statement of one company with another. This vertical analysis is based on balance sheet and income statement of Hibiscus Petroleum and Sapura Energy. For the Hibiscus balance sheet, in this graph, from the view, the balance sheet year 2022 has the highest in all three total current assets, total current liabilities, and long-term debt. In 2022, Hibiscus Petroleum has the highest current liability due to the pandemic that has attacked the whole world. That is believed the reason why Hibiscus has slightly higher liabilities rather than asset in order to survive the pandemic. But it also have a higher total current asset in order to cover the liabilities. As for the Hibiscus Petroleum income statement, we can see in the graph for year 2020 net income, which on the gray bar, the net income for Hibiscus Petroleum is negative. This is due to certain event that can be expected. But in 2021, it starts to grow, and Hibiscus company shows an increased pattern through all the 3 years. Hibiscus Petroleum record the highest total revenue in 2022. Next is for Sapura Energy balance sheet. As we can see in the graph, for the 2 years, 2020 and 2021, they have a similar pattern, while in 2023, the current liabilities in the orange bar increased drastically with 15.841%, which is believed due to the internal conflict and pandemic COVID-19. And we can see the total current asset is decreased slowly over the year 2021 until 2022, and the long-term debt is increased a little. Last one is Sapura Energy income statement. From the observation made from the 3 years, total revenue from the Sapura Energy in a blue bar going decrease from over the year, while for the net income in a gray bar become more serious, that it has a negative net income with in 2022 with a huge gap with negative 9,050,634. So for overall, Sapura Energy is barely survived with their income statement that decrease every time over the year if there is no changes made. So as we can see here also, for the total operating income, it has have negative in 2020 with negative 859,700 in 2020, and increase in 2021 with 212,862. But in 2020, it decreased drastically with negative 2,589,497. So that's all from me. I will pass it to other presenter. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Anis Arisha binti Hasbullah. My metric number is 2021406298. Okay, next I will present about the recommendation. Okay, based on SWOT analysis, here some recommendation that can be provided for both companies. Okay, the first recommendation is recognize and reward employees. Okay, employees need encouragement and recognition. When employees do something right, show your appreciation. When they finish a large, difficult project or submit a project before the deadline, congratulate them. Show them that we see their hard work. Don't feel like we have to shower employees with praise for everything they do. We don't have to praise employees for small everyday tasks, but when the employees do something to go above and beyond, give them the congratulation they deserve. Create a positive work environment, allows employees to try, feel acknowledged, and stay motivated. The goal here is to create an encouraging, positive work environment. When employees feel respected, acknowledged, desired and motivated, they are more likely to stay. And the second one is develop career path and opportunities to grow. One of the major reasons people leave companies is lack of career growth. LinkedIn reports that employees stay 41% longer at companies focus on hiring internally compared to those that don't make it a priority. More companies are looking inward with role changes via promotion, transfer, or a lateral move increasing by 10% over the last 5 years per LinkedIn. Internal recruiting must be standardized and free of fear from employees that they will be penalized for seeking roles on other teams. One of the major barriers to internal recruiting is that managers don't want to let go of good talent. Organizations that encourage cross-functional projects, identify skills of existing employees, and connect upskilling to internal opportunities have found these strategies help with internal recruiting and can convince workers to stay around. Next, the third one is be a great place to work. Having a positive culture and engaged workforce is key to keeping staff. If they are motivated, they are more likely to stay. Ask your employees what they like about your business and what could be improved. Anonymous surveys with assured confidentiality are a good way to ensure you get honest feedback. And the next one is encourage a healthy work-life balance. According to one survey, 57% of people report benefits and perks were one of their top consideration before accepting a job. Offering unique perks like unlimited employee, maternity and paternity leave for the first year of a child's life or a stipend for annual travel may help employers stand out. The ability to utilize flexible work schedule and environments can also prove to be beneficial. And the last one is allow flexible work schedule. Employees are increasingly concerned with job flexibility. So, giving them more latitude here is another way to boost retention. According to online job board FlexJob, about 30% of workers reported leaving a job because it did not offer flexible work options. And another 80% said they would be more loyal to their company if they had flexible work options. Flexible work isn't only telework or remote work. It can include flex time, where employees are required to work a standard number of hours but can choose when those are. A compressed work week, part-time schedules, or a job share where workers rotate days working from the office. Although effectively, managing remote workers does pose its own challenges. Leaders should explore whether any of these options might be effective for their organization. Besides that, working from home, for example, give employees more proactiveness in one action because time is given to organize work, including conducting online meetings, preparing reports and paperwork, and so on. In fact, this approach also opens the space for employees to work 24 hours a day because they can interact with any organizational needs whenever needed. Nevertheless, preparation in terms of mental ability and resources become the determining force in facilitating the implementation of work at home. Okay, saving space and energy in the operation center or office is also one of the direct effects in contributing to huge operational cost saving. Employees will be at the operation center when consulting with external parties is involved. The use of social media or online mediums such as e-conference, e-meeting is one of the steps in saving administrative operation. Various online mediums that are easy to obtain such as Google Meet, Skype, Zoom and so on. Okay, besides that, flexible work schedule let employees adjust their work time and location. Employees can create a work-life balance for themselves. Your workers can pursue things beyond work, go to appointments and take care of their families. Lastly, in the past COVID-19 pandemic era, working from home has become the new normal. A healthy work-life balance is an essential aspect of job satisfaction. Flexi work hours may be illusory to specific business, but adjusting the hours and planning response times give employees better focus on result in higher efficiency. Studies have shown that flexible work schedules can enhance the well-being of employees. Furthermore, when managers consider team members' skills and interests while assigning work, it enhances employee engagement and productivity. When you consider your resources' interests, they feel valued, motivating them to perform better. Next part is conclusion. Okay, in conclusion, based on our analysis, we decided to invest in Hibiscus Petroleum. Both companies have their own strengths and weaknesses. We choose Hibiscus Petroleum Company because this company is perform better than Sapura Energy, and the overall performance is very satisfying. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you.